I am here with Jared, head roaster at Irving Farm, and he's going to take us on a tour of their roasting facility here in Millerton, New York. Hey, Jared.
Hi there. Let's do it.
Let's go.
So this is the green room. This is where we receive all of our green coffee. This is also where we store some other things, obviously, like boxes and filters and bags and stuff like that. It's pretty actually empty right now. This is like close to the lowest capacity you'll ever see this place, honestly. We're releasing today, so we'll probably get coffee on Monday. And we'll get a full truck, so about 27 pallets. We typically get a full truck of coffee every 3 weeks, roughly, at this point. So this is where it's all stored.
What's your roasted volume output per week or about?
Yeah, roasted volume, we're probably at right now sitting at like 7,000 to 9,000 pounds a week. Last year, I think about 450,000 pounds green went through our roasters. So it's just under 400K roasted, 375, something like that.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's a good big volume for just two roasters. Just
it's quite a bit.
Two people,
for
three
two
machines.
people, it's 3 machines, but yeah, for 2 people, it is quite a bit. We've gone up and down throughout the years in terms of staffing. Hannah and I, luckily, we're really like in sync, and we're a really good team, so we get it done. But it's a lot, especially on, like I said, hot days in this roastery. We slow down quite a bit, but yeah, we get it all roasted. We roast 4 days a week. Our facility is actually only open 4 days a week. We're on a 4-day work week, so 410s.
I love 410s.
That's
my preferred.
Yeah, it's the best. I try to preach it to anyone. I know it's hard, especially in coffee. In some areas of the industry, it's hard to make a schedule like that work, but it's really incredible. So yeah, we're on 410. So we roast actually Thursdays as well, but it's just about a half day, and then we do maintenance at the end of the half day. So we clean the roasters. It's mostly the lowering, honestly. The lowering is responsible for most of the volume. We'll go in and see the roasters, obviously. That one needs well, lowerings in general, I feel like, typically need a little bit less maintenance than other machines, but we just put so much volume through that machine that we spend a good portion of Thursdays, mostly Hannah, doing the maintenance on that machine.
Do you have any rhyme or reason to the layout of the
Not
pallets?
For the most part. We typically, when we get a delivery in, we try to keep, we do have some certified organic coffees. So we try to keep the organic area for the most part. A lot of times it bleeds over, and so we try to keep it up high, make sure that it's not under any conventional coffee, obviously. But aside from that, no, there's not a whole lot of rhyme or reason. We kind of just shove it in there and make sure it's labeled really clearly. We try to have like basically like a triple check system when the coffee comes in, just so that we make sure, obviously, just like anywhere else, we're getting the right coffee and we're checking it and inspecting it and all that stuff. But after it's inspected, it just really goes up on the shelf. That's really all there is to it.
But I see you have these nice, you put additional labels so that you can see from really anywhere what the coffee
is. We try to make it super visible. We do every once in a while. We're not really doing a whole lot of it right now, but we have done some toll roasting and private labeling a good bit in the past. And so at that time we had like a color coding system. So we had like orange labels and white labels and stuff like that. So we try to keep things really visible because at the end of the day, in the middle of a summer day when you come in to get coffee, you don't want to be scrounging around looking for, what you need. You just want to be able to grab it. So
cool.
Yeah. This is Hannah. She's my right-hand person here. She's actually responsible for probably a majority, more of the volume of the coffee roasted than I am.
Powerhouse.
Yeah, powerhouse. You've been here how many years?
Almost 4.
Almost 4 years.
Nice.
Yep.
Awesome. And you're roasting on the lowering today, I see?
Mm-hmm. All right, roast floor?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
My favorite floor. Ooh.
So this
Three
is where
machines.
all of the roasting happens.
Yeah.
Usually the first thing people point out is that we have 3 different manufactured roasters on this floor. We've got a Probat here, it's a 12 kilo. We've got a Loring 70 kilo full bag. And then we have this old Diedrich CR60, so it's a 60 kilo. For the most part, we do have kind of, I would say, assigned coffees that go on each machine. We have everything profiled just about on all of the machines because obviously there's instances where one roaster breaks down or whatever and we need to emergency roast our espresso blend on the Diedrich or something like that. But for the most part, our smaller volume coffees, which just so happen to be our higher end, single origins, go through the 12 kilo, the Probat. Our espresso and house blends, which obviously make up a majority of the coffee we sell, they go through the Loring. And then our darker roasts, we have 3. They go through the Diedrich for the most part. Like I said, sometimes there's some variance. We gotta, if a huge order comes in for a ton of a single origin, we might take it as an opportunity to profile that coffee on the Loring and do some experimentation. But for the most part, yeah, every roaster's got, kind of assigned coffees.
So do you have, each day, are you roasting specific coffees, or are all machines might be on in one day?
All machines are usually on every day. The Diedrich is actually down right now because I have to replace a blower motor on it. But typically every day, all of the machines are on at some point in the day. And honestly, we roast, excluding some of the single origins that we sell less of, we roast most coffees, most of our SKUs every day.
And how many SKUs do you have?
Well, that's a good question. We have, let's see. I think we have 6 main blends. And then any given time, at this point, we'll have 2 to 4 single origins. And then we have some other SKUs as well. I can show you that we do for other accounts that have their own blends and stuff like that. Some of those are just reproductions of existing blends. So we're just repackaging one of our espresso blends for them. And then some of them are actual custom blends for customers. And those are all smaller volumes. So yeah, we'll do some of those. But in terms of our main SKUs, it's I think 6 blends and then 2 to 4 single origins at any given time. Yeah.
Do you have a favorite machine personally?
I've always been a huge fan of the Loring. I learned on a Loring, on a Kestrel. So they have a special place in my heart.
Yeah.
I like the Probat. At ceremony, I roasted on a Loring and a San Franciscan, 12 kilo San Franciscan. The San Franciscan and Probat, they roast very similarly. So it was a pretty easy transition. I like the Probat a little bit more. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of roasting on Diedrichs. However, I'm a little bit, I think, probably negatively biased because I'm roasting on a very old machine that has issues pretty often. There's a lot of stuff about Diedrichs that I think they've probably improved in terms of their engineering and stuff like that. I've roasted on a couple other ones, but yeah, I really like Loring. I like the coffees that come out of Lorings. I like roasting on a Loring. Also, the maintenance, the way they engineer their machines to take them apart, I really appreciate. So much easier to take this machine apart than the Diedrich, and even in some ways the Probat, in my opinion. So,
what's happening behind us here?
This is blending. So this is just a giant Diedrich cooling tray.
It's like giant.
Yeah. Yeah, so we got this specifically for blending. This can hold realistically probably about 800 to 900 pounds, depending on what kind of roast it is. But yeah, for the espresso blends and the house blends that we mostly blend in here, 800 to 900 pounds roughly.
And you're doing post-roast blending? Do you also do any pre-roast blending?
We do that as well, yeah. So both of our, all 3 of our now dark roasts are all pre-roast blended. And then most of our other roasts are all post-roast blended. And then it goes into a destoner here and a big hopper. This thing is massively helpful because we can drop this coffee into virtually any vessel we need to at any time. So barrels, we have these larger totes that we put all of our big volume blends in. And then also, right now we're not manufacturing our own cold brew. We recently stopped doing that, but when we were, we would roast it, put it through here, and just drop it straight into a super sack on a pallet, tie it up, and send it right off to the manufacturer rather than having to like box it all up. Because you know,
waste a bunch of bags.
Cold brew blends were anywhere between 600 to 1,200 pounds of coffee at a time. So yeah, so it's really helpful to be able to do, if you're a roastery doing really large volume, like, you know, palletized coffee, super helpful.
Yeah, this is massive.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's great, and yeah, it's just a cooling tray.
Nice.
Yeah.
How much would you say, like, either SKUs or volume is your split between single origins and blends?
Oh, our single origins at this point are probably 10-15%. I would say closer to probably 10% of our volume.
Most of it is like espresso blends and...
Yeah, most of it is our espresso and house blends and dark roasts, for sure. It's just, for the most part, over the years, it's just where we found ourselves with, you know, that's what our customer base looks for the most part. Our single origin program also has gotten bigger and shrunk over time with different trends and stuff like that. But yeah, I would say close to 10%, something like that.
Cool.
Yeah.
And what's the like maintenance schedule? You said every Thursday?
Every Thursday, yep. We've got just like a maintenance list that we check off. We have weekly activities, monthly activities. We have biannual and then annual activities that we check off.
I love to hear it.
Yeah.
I love to hear it.
Yeah. So yeah, and then yeah, the luring is really, like I said, the luring is getting weekly maintenance no matter what. The Probat, because such little volume goes through it, there's weeks where, you know, I only do, you know, maybe 3 or 4 roasts on this machine. And if so, I just, you know, empty the trap, maybe brush out the cooling tray and then call it a day. So, you know, sometimes there's like 2 or 3 week stints where this machine doesn't really need maintenance at all. The Diedrich needs constant maintenance, but mostly in the form of like repairs and stuff like that. It's just a very old machine at this point. Eventually, I think it would be great if we could replace this with either a luring S35 or another 70, something like that. A 70 would probably make more sense. I'd love to have an S35 to have a little bit more control, but
yeah. And what's your batch sizes that you're doing on each machine?
Yeah, it totally depends. This one is mostly 20-pound batches. If it's a lower volume SKU, like for example, I just roasted a Columbia micro lot that we're selling right now, and I know that tomorrow's our last roast day, and I know that it's only really selling a few pounds a day. So I did 15 pounds today on that. This one, it is almost solely dictated by the bag size. When it comes to the luring, it's a high efficiency roast operation. That's what we focus on the most. Obviously, quality we care about a lot and is also paramount. But
so you're doing full bags at a time?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, so we'll do you know, Columbias. They'll be 150, 152 pounds, and the roasts are a little longer, but we've tested them all and we're happy with the results, especially for the purpose that they go into, for our espresso and house roast. I don't think that there is, you know, the difference I think is minute enough that I think the efficiency matters more in that moment. So yeah, for the most part, this is full bag roast, whether it's 60 kilos, 70 kilos. There are some outliers. For our, we have a light roast that uses an Ethiopia, and that one will do down to like 75 pounds. The lowest we'll do on this machine is 75 pounds. And even that is a little tricky.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, this one, we mostly do 100 pounds on this machine. I rarely go above 100 pounds on the Diedrich. Yeah.
Nice.
So this is the roast floor.
Pretty. It is quite hot.
It's quite hot. Yeah, we have like little sanctioned areas of AC. You'll see it in the lab in here, the break room, the bathrooms, the front cafe. We've got our areas, and we kind of go and take shelter throughout the day on really hot days and take breaks and stuff like that. But yeah, it gets hot, certainly.
So then the coffee comes through here and then goes into packaging?
Yeah. So coffee comes, you know, from the loring, it'll come out here. These are all components. And then they'll get blended. If it's coming from the Diedrich and it's a pre-roast blend, then those will just go straight out from here onto the roast floor. We work on a forecast system. So in an ideal world, every single week, what happens is, you know, the coffee they're filling right now is going into backstock for next week. So ideally, on any given day, they have the coffee that they need for any orders that come through today. And then, you know, on the back end of the day, they're just filling backstock.
And you have orders from the cafes and from like wholesale accounts and online, or?
Yeah, orders from anywhere. You know, it's anything, our cafes, online, wholesale accounts. We do some services, right? So we're a huge seller on trade. We do a lot of volume through trade.
Yeah.
Yeah, anywhere you could think of. Yeah, we kind of sell. We have a bunch of different channels that we're selling through.
Yeah. So your team is 2 people in the roaster, like in the roasting room, and then how many people do you have in like packaging?
It fluctuates anywhere between like 5 to 7. Yeah.
Cool. And for green buying or quality control, what's the process there?
Green buying or quality control?
Or I guess both. Green buying.
So green buying, yeah. So we have our green buyer, Jay. He's remote. So when I actually came here and started our Irving Farm like a little over 4 years ago, Jay had just taken over green buying, but he was actually, he was like kind of leading the roast operation while they looked for a head roaster. And then I came, and now he's fully our green buyer. He does it all remote, like I said. And then, what was the other thing he said? QC?
Quality control, yeah.
Quality control. We typically do 2 cuppings a week, 2 QC cuppings a week. So we pull samples on Mondays and Wednesdays, and we cup them Tuesdays and Thursdays. So we don't pull samples from every single batch. We pull samples at random. And then if there are any outliers, any concerns, if the power flickers, which happens a lot here upstate, and it might mess up a roast a little bit, then we'll pull a sample for that. If we are doing any experimenting, or if we do a higher or lower capacity than we usually do for a certain profile, then we'll pull that and we'll taste it. But yeah, 2 times a week, 2 cuppings a week.
Cool.
Yeah.
We head to the lab.
Let's do it.
And who gets to participate in cuppings? Is that you, the 2 of you roasters?
So anyone is allowed to participate in any cuppings they want.
Yeah. Oh, it's nice in here.
Yeah, it's, nice.
It's cool. Cool.
Yeah, and it's the noise as well. Yeah. So anyone's allowed to participate, but mostly it's me and Hannah doing QC. It's also me and Hannah approving samples, making blend decisions. We also, like Jay and I, Jay's our green buyer, we correspond a lot about blends ahead of time. And then me and Hannah do a lot of tasting. And then typically we'll send either all of the components to Jay for him to do his own tests as well, or maybe we might just decide on the blend and send him the final iteration and see if he likes it as well. So he still has a hand in it remotely. But in terms of like most of the QC and stuff happens on a weekly basis. Yeah, it's just me and Hannah in here.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's interesting that he's doing the buying, but then you're doing the blending.
Yeah, it's kind of changed a little bit over the years. Jay is technically a contractor. So he does buying and consulting services for other companies as well. So before, when I first came here, he was just our full-time director of coffee. And now he's kind of transitioned into that role. And then, yeah, he used to live in New York City. And so it was a lot easier for me to go to the city or him to come to the roastery. But now we just have a weekly meeting and we kind of correspond over email and give each other our thoughts virtually. Yeah, so this is where we do all of our QC, We do sample roasting in here. We just have this Ikawa.
You have
this machine we
Probats.
have. It is defunct.
Out of commission.
Yeah, no, I mean it works. I've been trying to sell it actually for a while. It's a great little machine, and this one's like really particularly lightly used. But yeah, there's so many options these days. The Ikawa's great.
Yeah.
I mean.
So you mainly use the Ikawa. Is that for like deciding how you're going to roast a coffee, or is that mostly just like what's your sample roasting process?
Yeah, no, it's pretty straightforward. We have 1 or 2 profiles that we use for just about every sample. And so all of those samples use that profile. And then we're only using sample roasting ever to, for the most part, to approve or deny samples. Mm-hmm. Or obviously, try samples to decide if we want to buy coffee, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, there's virtually no roasting decisions being made using the Ikawa in the process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then for your production cupping, is it like a pass-fail sort of system, or do you score coffees at all?
Yeah, we don't score. It's basically just pass-fail. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's just me and Hannah tasting every coffee that's on the line, and obviously Hannah and I have a pretty good grasp of what the coffees are supposed to taste like. We've gone through a lot of different kind of techniques in terms of logging our QC roasts. I have tried Cropster a few times, and it's always just ended up being too cumbersome for me, and especially with a light crew on busy days, going in and logging all our samples. It takes a lot of time. So for the most part, yeah, it's just me and Hannah going through every roast, and then talking about them at the end. If we have any questions, if we have any concerns, we'll talk about it. If we both agree on a concern, we'll like pull a coffee and examine it further, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, it's pretty straightforward. It's just taste the coffee, follow your taste for the most part.
Cool.
Yeah.
And as far as software for roasting, do you use Cropster, or do you use the kind of native software for each machine?
Yeah, we use Cropster for roasting. We use it for inventory tracking, all of that. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, yeah, and then we do some, other, obviously we have the espresso machine in here, so we'll do, QC in kind of any brew method that we need to. We also just come in here and make fun drinks whenever we want. Yeah. A lot of espresso tonics and stuff in the summer. Yeah. Yeah, and then this kind of doubles as my office too, so I'm hanging out here sending emails or whatever.
What's a typical day in the life of you and your roasting team?
Yeah, so we come in at about 5:30. Hannah and I, sometimes 6 o'clock. We come in. We have a morning meeting at 6:30 with kind of the whole facility. So we all get together and talk about what's the plan for the day, what coffee is on order, if there's any unexpected orders or anything like that. Really anything that anyone needs to know. So until then, Hannah and I are just kind of preparing for the day, warming the roasters up. They warm up for about an hour every day, making coffee, et cetera, et cetera. And then we roast just about all day. We've got staggered breaks so that there's always roasts going for the most part, or there's always coffee being blended. And then we leave typically around 3 or 3:30. And we're usually done roasting. We cool the roasters down around 2 o'clock. So the actual effective roasting, nonstop roasting time is usually, I would say, 6:45-ish to 2 o'clock every day. Except for Thursdays where we'll stop earlier around maybe 10 or 11 and then do maintenance for the rest of the day.
Nice. Who made these these
that was mostly
coffee
Hannah,
bag
yeah.
art?
So we do a lot of tasting other people's coffee in this lab. Especially when I just bring a lot of coffee just for fun for my travels, and I do a lot of trades with friends. But also if we see a roaster that is carrying the same coffee as us, we'll usually buy it up and taste it alongside ours. And then, yeah, we have this packaging drawer here. We just keep all the packaging and stickers and stuff. Just because Hannah and I are also kind of design-minded people, so we really enjoy people's packaging. Yeah,
these are so pretty. This is such a beautiful tableau of color coordinated.
Yeah, she color coordinated everything. This is the last one we need. So actually, these all replaced these old posters from the SCA. There's some wacky stuff on these posters. Very old world coffee. Yeah. So that was kind of we were like, well, we have all these bags. Why don't we just kind of hang them up and make it pretty? So this is the last one we need to replace. We try to like always be tasting other people's coffee.
Mm-hmm. And then as far as like, I guess it's you and Hannah, as far as like the quote taste makers at Irving Farm, you guys are deciding what you want the coffee to taste like, or are there?
It's kind of how do I put this? So when I started at Irving Farm, Jay was the director of coffee. So he was kind of directing and kind of making preliminary calls. And then eventually started running them through me, and we started doing that as a team. And then once Jay went virtual and moved, for the most part, Jay and I still kind of collaborate about what we should do, about what coffees we should buy, about what we should do with certain blends, whether we should change them, which coffees we should put in them, et cetera, et cetera. So a lot of the preliminary ideas happen via email through me and Jay. And then me and Hannah will actually like cup everything here. And like I said, we'll send coffee to Jay, or he'll get coffee sent to him. And then we also have, we have trainers in the city as well who are always giving us feedback. It's kind of like evolved a lot through the years with our staff changing.
Yeah. It's cool to have cafes though, so that you do get kind of direct feedback from customers who are drinking the coffee through the baristas as well.
Yeah, and I know they're doing cuppings in the city as well with the baristas, and they'll give us feedback from those cuppings. So there's always kind of feedback is always kind of going around at any given time.
How many cafes does Irving Farm have?
Oh, I think it's 7 now. 7, including the one in Millerton here. So I think it's 6 in the city and then 1 in Millerton here.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Oh, nice. And then I guess, do you want to take a look at fulfillment?
Yeah, let's take a look at fulfillment.
All right, cool. This is our fulfillment floor. We have 2 bagging machines, an all-fill and a weigh rack. So at any given time, like I said, for the most part, when you see people bagging here, usually they're bagging coffee for the next week because of our forecast system. Obviously, there's exceptions. Sometimes we need to bag some single origins day of and stuff like that. But for the most part, they're bagging coffee for the next week. The forecast system was the inception of the catalyst for these rolling metro racks as well. So as you can see behind you, they basically just stock all these. Stock all these all these racks up with coffee, and then that coffee will get rolled into what is now basically our storage room here, and then used for the next week. Some of it lives out on the fulfillment floor here as well. But yeah, for the most part, it's all stored on these metro racks, and then they wheel it back in for the next week when they're filling orders. So when they need to fill Highline orders, they'll wheel the metro rack with Highline on it into here and fill the boxes. The boxes are all palletized.
So this is all like outgoing to the cafes?
Yep, this is all outgoing for just about all of our orders. Our trade orders and web orders will go over here. That's kind of where those stations are. So at any given time, usually 1 or 2 people will be packing over here, and everything, these pallets, the trade orders, web orders, all of that will go out of this bay door here. So we have UPS and USPS pick up at the end of the day, every day. And then actually over here, this used to be—
It's a big facility.
It is, yeah. This actually used to be a cold brew room. So when cold brew was really kind of increasing in popularity, Irving Farm decided, this is before my time, Irving Farm decided, yeah, we should brew our own cold brew. And then I think soon realized we should probably just let someone else who's an expert do this. And now we use this for storage and stickering and all that stuff.
Nice.
Yeah.
And you have 12-ounce bags, 2-pound bags, 5-pound bags?
Yes, the 12-ounce, we call them 12-ounce bags, but our bags, we do 300 grams. For the most part, that's our standard size.
Just over.
We have some exceptions. Some customers want a little more or a little less, but 300 grams. And then, yeah, we do 5-pound bags and 2-pound bags as well.
Cool.
Yeah, and this is where you'll see all kinds of our like private label or custom blends. We do a custom blend for Zucker's, which is a big bagel place in the city. Bread Alone, which is a great bakery here upstate. Yeah, all kinds of random cafes, stores, stuff like that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, this is a big and very clean facility, to be honest.
I'm glad. I'm glad you think so. It's
Yeah.
funny watching videos of other people's roasters
Yeah.
at roasteries. You're always like, oh no, that looks so clean. They have white walls and everything. And I think when you live in a space every day, you're obviously, the dirt is very obvious to you. It's very apparent.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm glad you think so. That's
Yeah.
great.
Oh.
Yeah, we try hard.
Yeah. Thank you so much for the tour.
No
Thank
worries.
you all for watching. Make sure to follow, like, subscribe for more coffee and coffee roasting content. We'll see you next time.
See ya.